From the Aishin Broadcast Studio, it's the Amped EV Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Amped EV Podcast. My name is David, and on today's show, we are speaking with Alex Parker. She is the president of Redline Detection. Let's get to the interview. Alex Parker, great to have you on the show. We are amped to have you here. I want to get right into, Redline Detection. Tell us a little bit just about what you've been doing, how you got into the EV space. And, we were talking a little before this conversation here about what was that catalyst that kind of made you explode into the EV space where you're almost becoming a household name?
Oh gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, David, and talk with you. It's been really fun to see what you're doing with the Amped podcast. Thank you so much for having me on. And thanks for the great question. I love that you recognize the growth that we've had. It has been very swift. We're on a very steep growth curve at Redline, and that's exciting. But we really have had from day one. We've been building quality equipment and addressing what the industry needs. We're not in the business of convincing anyone that they need equipment, right? What we're doing is responding to what our industry needs at any one time. And in the early days, what that meant was that, mobile tool dealers were such big fans of Redline because of the quality, and we make all of our product right here in America, and they recognize like the over-the-top customer support. We love mobile tool dealers. And then we went through a growth phase where all of the big OEs were really ready to adopt high pressure diagnostics. So we did things like, we made a program for GM a couple of years ago where we created our Power Smoke Pro for them, where they were able to much more quickly diagnose boost leaks, right? And when we started bringing on a lot of boosted strategies for fuel economy and cleaner air. And for GM, that's been such a huge win because it's a fast ROI and it's really delivered for them and made a big impact with improving customer service and warranty. And then from there, what we saw is really that our OE partners they suddenly had enough EV product out there that they were really ready to address and improve and refine how they were going to support these vehicles. So we were beginning to get into a pivot moment there, right? There were a lot of people out there that wanted to use smoke machines for testing EV battery enclosures and EV systems. That's not the right application. It's not the right tool. You really need something that's very specialized for that. So when the world shut down during COVID, we took that opportunity to double down. And we made an enormous investment. We doubled our physical footprint. We built a clean environment building and created a whole dedicated staff with engineers, R&D, software. And we knew that our OE partners were beginning to ask us for solutions about how to test battery enclosures for leaks, how to test battery coolant systems, other EV systems. Smoke machine is not the right answer. So we really took technology that Redline owned, which is our patented nano leak technology. It's a trace gas system. And we built that into our battery and coolant leak detector, BCLD. And we made just this enormous investment. Our team did not miss a single day during that whole COVID period. We were really building this technology and investing in that. And it's really paid off because within just a few months, we had both domestic US automakers as well as global international European automakers who adopted that in every dealer location. So we literally were going into manufacturing as quickly as we could. And so, that technology has now been out in the world in dealer locations for several years and has been really widely adopted. As you said, it's become pretty ubiquitous in terms of state of the art. And the real game changer on that, David, is that there are strategies and tools that you could use that will tell you if you have a leak in a battery enclosure or a battery coolant system or other systems. But this is the only technology it's patented that can tell you precisely pinpoint where that leak is. So when you think about that ability, everywhere from battery design labs, right? So they're using this to go in and check their work and see where they need to make improvements in terms of the battery design. Battery manufacturers are using it, OEMs are using it, and then they're using it again in the build at the end of line to make sure that during that process, everything's tight and leak proof. Then they're using it again out in the field to do battery repair and maintenance, using it in collision. Anytime an EV has been in a collision of any type, when you think about that force, it's very important to make sure for the people, not only who are drivers, but the people who are working on the vehicles, to pre and post test in this way to make sure that they're not going to be working on a vehicle that has a potentially dangerous battery. Absolutely. And then at end of life, right, when we're talking about reclamation, then this is being used as well, and widely in root cause. So it's really through the life of the vehicle, and the ability to pinpoint exactly where the problem is has just been a game changer for OEs.
Wow. I mean, that's quite a journey as well. To your point earlier, it sounds like you're not having to go out and convince people that, hey, leak detection is something you need to be investing in. They're aware of that, and they're coming to you looking for this technology to be able to do that as well as they possibly can. What challenges are your team facing out in the marketplace? If they're not trying to convince these stakeholders, what does tend to be the biggest challenge for your team, and how are they addressing that?
It's a really good question. And you're so right about that, David. We're not in the business of convincing anyone, but we really are in the business of when our OEM customers are ready to evolve their procedures and adopt new technology to better service vehicles, to improve their warranty, to improve their CSI, fixing it right the first time. That's the business that Redline is in, is developing custom solutions so that it really ticks all those boxes. And so, the challenges for us right now, I hate to say it out loud, but the challenges for us right now are keeping up. It's a bit like taking a sip of water out of a fire hose. And that's a good problem, right? Those are the problems you want to have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Presented from the Aishin Broadcast Studio at Babcock's Media.
And so also I wanted to address earlier, you had mentioned all the different times during a vehicle's lifespan that you might be using this technology. Did you kind of know that from the beginning? Like, hey, we've identified that, pre-R&D and, during the vehicle's life, and then at the end of the vehicle's life, you're going to be able to use this technology the whole time? Or was that kind of a evolving something that you were able to find out as you were kind of moving along?
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like the EV space from a technologist viewpoint it's evolving so quickly that what happens with us is that the phone will ring and it'll be a battery manufacturer and they'll say, here's what we're coming across, could we use it in this way, right? And so our customers are brilliant. Our customers are right at the cutting edge of technology and design and development. And so we really partner with them to support the incredibly brilliant work that they're doing as they're developing new battery designs, new vehicle designs. And one of the things that's been a huge win for our customers is that the architecture that we have built into the battery and coolant leak detector system is so robust, and some might say overbuilt. I don't believe it is, because what we've tried to create here and what we've been really successful at creating is a tool and a technology that's future proof. So it is built with the ability to add in future battery configurations, future vehicle models. Batteries may be the same enclosure, but of course, depending upon the range, it can have airspace that's different inside. So you really have the ability to, just with a simple software update, continue to add on to the capability, not only in terms of the battery configuration or the vehicle, but also in terms of the way that it's used in the applications. So it continues to get broader and broader applications.
That's pretty incredible. The over-the-air update. You hear that a lot. Of course, Tesla is so well known for doing that. But you see that everywhere. I mean, especially in the heavy duty space as well. And seeing that in tooling as well is just fantastic to hear about.
Well, listen, I mean, is there anything worse, as a consumer or vehicle owner, if you buy something and it's a single use, and then it goes on a shelf and it's money sitting on a shelf. And, there's nothing worse for an automaker, for an OEM, than having a single-use tool or something that becomes obsolete. So we're very focused on future-proofing our technology so that it continues to grow and evolve, and you're buying it once and then just, able to use it across a whole lot of different applications and a whole lot of different models and future applications as well.
I love that. And it's such a big deal, especially for, at the dealer level where, they might not have the same budget as, an OEM might have, so having that ability is just huge.
Very true. Yeah, we are, our team here is really focused on ROI, and we want to make sure that we're delivering value at every stage. So, we really partner with our OE partners to develop exactly what they need. And then, we go honestly over the top to support it as well, because we're an American manufacturer. And one of the huge advantages to partnering with an American manufacturer is that we can offer, in time customer support and service. So someone actually picks up the phone who, is a technology person. We have ASE certified master techs on our team. We have engineers in the building who are available to support our customers and help them as they're continuing to explore applications and new development. And it also makes us, being right here, I mean, you can see I'm in a building here with all of our equipment, and I can walk down the hallway, I can walk into the factory, we can make running changes. So it makes us incredibly agile. So when you think about the ability with an industry and a space like EV that's moving so fast, and you think about the ability to create a solution for an automaker and then be really agile in terms of if they need a change to that, if they need to make an update of some kind, if they need a new adapter, we literally can walk across the building and work with our engineers or work with our production and make changes that are incredibly rapid. In terms of new development, it also makes us super agile for prototyping. So we do a lot of rapid prototyping here. I mean, as you well know, David, we are probably looking down the road of some consolidation of battery types in the next few years. But for the time being, OEs are all over the place in terms of the different types of batteries, configurations they're using, adapters that those require for various types of testing or maintenance. And so we really leaned into developing an expertise around rapid prototyping to really simplify that for our customers. So we can, in a matter of a couple of days, we can create a drawing, we can create a resin print or 3D printed version and have it in FedEx or DHL being sent to our customer for fitment in just a couple days. Whereas if in the time when we had suppliers doing that, it might take us, weeks and weeks to be responsive on that level.
Kudos to your team, truly, because, I want to pull on this string a little bit because I know that, Redline, it's, I think you had mentioned at one point, over 160 countries is where you are giving product and, you're having to support that product and support those companies. And when you're talking about that kind of footprint, it's, you're talking about different regulations and different vehicle platforms, different skateboards to worry about. How are you possibly being able, how is your team able to I'm sorry, but it's just incredible to me that you can have that kind of footprint, but also be so agile to be able to, be prototyping and answering questions and addressing different issues that someone might have within days.
No, David, you are right on. That feeling of, how do you cover that kind of ground? That's exactly what it feels like. It's exciting to be in this very aggressive growth mode, but this has been going on for a while for us. We know how to do this. The team at Redline is incredible. every success we're having is owed to this team. They are just doing fantastic work. They are doing amazing R&D, amazing engineering, quality, the production at every level. They're absolutely killing it. And when you think about your question about, now doing business in 160 countries, here's the thing about that. It is a very specialized type of business. You can't just plug into that and understand all of the regional certification safety requirements, for instance, how to work in all of those languages, right? How you have to manage, especially in this moment when there are so many constantly changing tariffs and shipping and export and import challenges. You really have to have a deep knowledge in that. And because we have been doing this for a while now, the team at Redline really deeply understands this. So we do OEM programs globally every day. And that requires a real level of expertise surrounding, as I said, working in various languages, working with various export entities and import entities, and really understanding, especially all of the requirements for certification and meeting safety requirements in every country. If our automaker partners were to take this on themselves, it would take months or years to get a tool or product certified and approved in all of these various regions and countries. So the fact that we've already done that we know how to do it, that we can really expedite that process. So if an automaker wants to roll out a tool across all of their global locations, then we've got that system down, and we can absolutely with assuredness come in on time, on budget, every single time. And that's a huge, huge load off of our customers. It really flows directly to helping them in these programs.
Oh, I'm sure you're absolutely right there. Well, Alex, this has been a real pleasure. Thank you for joining us today. And really, it's been great watching Redline grow over the years. I just can't wait to see where you go from here, especially, to your point, there's so many different, battery types being tested and prototyped right now. And just to see where the industry goes with that and where you follow along is going to be really fantastic. So thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it.
David, thank you so much. There's never been a more exciting time to be in our industry. At heart, the people in our industry are innovators and makers. And we are just in a moment right now where it's not either or, it's and also. And it's such an exciting moment to be in our space. And I'm so excited to be here talking with you. And I'll look forward to doing this again very soon. Thank you so much, David.
And also, thanks. Take care. All right. That was an incredible interview. Some of my biggest takeaways were, first of all, this kind of technology is not, it's really not something that's optional. It's kind of essential in the process of an EV's life cycle from R&D to, end of life. Leak detection, obviously, when we're talking EVs or any vehicle really, but especially EVs, we're always talking safety. We're always concerned about safety. This is a huge step in that process. So really interested to see where Redline goes from here, how it ends up following the different battery types that are being manufactured and that are being developed out there. Cannot wait to see it. Thanks for joining us. Take care.